Please listen carefully.
It's time for The Craft. Crafting business, relationships, and of course, the world's best cocktails. Live from the iconic Scottsdale landmark, Hotel Valley Ho. So sit back and shake up your favorite cocktail. It's The Craft. Here's Robert.
Hi, I'm Robert Van Arlen. We are here at the Craft Podcast, Hotel Valley Ho, located in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we're here on Wednesdays. Let me get some things adjusted here before we get started. There we go, because you need to see my guest for today, and it is Jamal Mateen. Jamal, say hello to the podcast, the Craft Podcast listening audience.
Hello. I'm Rob. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
I really appreciate the invite.
This is going to be exciting because this guy and I have known each other for quite some time now, and you know what? I don't know a lot about him, but I'm going to learn a lot today, so that's all that matters. Anyway, the Craft is shot here at the Hotel Valley Ho Zuzu Lounge on Wednesdays, and you can catch us on Spotify, you can catch us on Amazon. We are now going to be up on YouTube, on our YouTube channel called the Craft Podcast. But look up Zuzu Lounge, Hotel Valley Ho. I'm Robert Van Arlen, and let's just get going with the craft today. So Jamal, tell me, you've been in Scottsdale. Are you from here?
I am. I've been here pretty much my whole life, since I was about 5 years old. Grew up in North Phoenix, like Moon Valley area, but moved to Scottsdale, over 25 years ago. Went to high school out here. Went to college in Pittsburgh. Went to University of Pittsburgh.
University of Pittsburgh.
University
so you're
of Pittsburgh.
Still Steelers guy?
Well, you know what? I don't watch a lot of football, but yes, I am. If I do watch football, I definitely am a Steelers guy. Been a Steelers fan actually since I was a kid.
Is that right?
Even though my family's kind of all from Chicago, but I always like the Steelers.
Always like it.
Always like the Steelers. So yeah, just grew up out here. Moved away to go to college, as I said, but since then, Arizona, I love Arizona,
What do you love about it?
It's a great question. I would say number one, the weather. Now, July, August, September, obviously, it's not the greatest place in the world to be. Probably one of the hottest places on earth.
Right.
But what I try to do is July, August, and September, I'm gone. I usually, I'll travel July. Sometimes I'll go to Europe.
Right.
August, I'll go out to California. September, just kind of a mixture of two, or go somewhere else. But I'd say 9 months out of the year for me, Rob, the weather is, I think it's the best weather in the country. I mean, only maybe second by certain places, around LA, but then you have to deal with LA. But outside of that, I like the weather. It's just comfortable for me.
Right.
It's comfortable.
This is a very comfortable place.
It's just, it's comfortable. If you know how to do it right, it's a good, you can have a good time. Plus, my family's here, mom, dad, brothers, and sisters.
Right.
And, you just kind of you feel good. Right.
That's awesome. You know what? You're right. It is comfortable. I'm surprised Lazy Boy doesn't have their headquarters out here, because this is very much, people move here. I came in from Canada, and I've never left.
Yeah.
But around the same time you did. So we got here around about 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And it went went really quick. But you know what? This place has grown. It's continuing to grow, and one of the hottest places in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, not hot just weather-wise, just hottest places to come visit, right?
Well, it's interesting because, I came here, I'm aging myself, in 78, so you're talking long time ago, and we've seen some major changes over the past 40-something years.
Right.
Even where I grew up, I mean, it's totally different. Scottsdale is totally different. A lot of people have discovered that it's good living out here. I mean, it's getting crowded in some areas, but it's good living for the most part. If you can get acclimated to the summer in some way, then
it really, in comparison to the rest of the country,
correct.
I'll take this,
Correct.
dry and, convert, versus 80, 90 in Philadelphia or New York, right? And you're just sweating your, off, right? I mean, it's like here it's hot, but everybody's got a pool.
Yeah, if you have a pool, you have an air conditioning, and then if you take maybe one vacation, July for a week or two, you go to California, you go somewhere where it's cool.
Even black people have pools here in Scottsdale. I
grew
gotta
up with
make
the
you
pool.
laugh. I mean, literally,
I grew
it's
up
like,
with the pool.
it's like, hey, do you have a pool? Yeah. We don't know how to swim, but we have a pool.
Oh,
so
no, we definitely know how to swim in my house.
Exactly.
I grew up as a kid in the pool. We'd have big pool parties. So swimming was a big part. And the thing is, I can't even remember how I learned how to swim. I just always remember knowing how to swim. My mother was, she could swim, but she was always paranoid, because I have 5 brothers and sisters, so she was always paranoid with, hey, I'm going to make sure they know how to swim because God forbid, we couldn't, if we ate, we had to wait 2 hours to go in the pool, which is like I don't even know if they do that anymore, but you know what I mean? So, it was, it was kind of, growing up when I look back at it, it was kind of like, I'm not going to say Mayberry because that's a little too corny, but it was a good time. 80s, the 80s and the early 90s. It was a great time out here.
Well, let me tell you how much of an idiot I was. I moved here from Canada, right? And I'm like, everybody has a pool. So, of course, I buy this house, I get the biggest pool that I could get, right?
Yeah.
And then I get the biggest heater that can heat that pool.
Wow.
And then I got the biggest bill.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's like
if you have a pool and you heat it, that you're talking minimum. Now it's got to be $1,000, $1,500 a month.
It's got to be. It was $800 a month back
20 years ago. Yeah. So it's probably I had and Chris knows that I built a house in Arcadia back in 08, 09.
Right.
It became a rental, market crash, blah blah blah. And the guy used to heat the pool every week or every month, and it was almost $1,000 back then. So, and you don't really, here's the thing. In the summer, you don't need to heat the pool, obviously. The winter, if you want to swim in there, you can. But, winter swimming, if you want to do it, great. But it's more of I think a jacuzzi sauna type of thing. But
then I got smart. Then I only heated the jacuzzi.
That's all you need to do.
Right?
Yeah, you're fine. Because you sit in the jacuzzi, it's nice to come out. You come into the cold weather. The one thing about Arizona that a lot of people don't realize is it can get cold here. It gets cold at night in the winter.
Exactly.
And if you think you're going to be, it's 80 degrees, your shirt's off during the day.
Right.
At nighttime, you're freezing because it's 49 or sometimes 39.
Right.
So, but still, that all being said, I prefer it over Chicago's winters. I prefer it over anywhere else that I've been.
I would agree with you. And with that, I'm going to take a little bit of break and give credit to the bar here is Zuzu Lounge. Today we're featuring the Louisville Slugger. This is the Louisville. I want to tell you what this is made of because this is a new drink, and that's why I'm interested in it. But it's got Knob Creek bourbon and pomegranate. It's got a tarragon and grapefruit. So this is the Louisville Slugger. Baseball season will be coming soon. There we go.
Very tasty, actually.
Very tasty.
Wow.
Wow. That's
a little bit of
that's
kick.
incredible.
That's good.
So we got it. That loosens us up to get started on some deep stuff. Now,
all right.
Here we go. So tell me, what is it? What do you do? What do you do for business?
Great question. I'm a mortgage broker.
Right.
I've been doing that for 21 years now. Started back in 2002.
Right.
Prior to that, I was a stockbroker at Charles Schwab, licensed Series 7.
Okay.
This is before kind of the internet took off. People would call in, and you had to actually place a trade.
Right.
It was computer generated, but it was a lot of papers and stuff. So I did that for 2.5 years out of college, and then I went into. My brother one day just said, "Hey, do you know anything about the mortgage business?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, you work pretty hard, so why don't you give it a shot?" And the rest is kind of history.
Just never look back.
Never look back. I've also, I flipped land, I built spec homes. I'm still in real estate now. I still, own multiple properties. And so real estate's kind of my bread and butter thing that I do, but primarily a mortgage broker.
Right.
And so if people are looking for homes, I can get the financing.
I tell you what, I think that's important. And this has been this past year.
Yeah.
Tell me about the roller coaster, because I heard it was a roller coaster this past year.
You heard correctly. I would say 2023, just from a production standpoint, for me was probably the lowest year, to be quite honest with you. Started out first quarter pretty good, but once the rates jumped up, and they went up to 2.5%.
So what was the rate? How high did it get?
I'd say 7.5.
Wow.
And that was up from 2.9,
Right.
3%. So so for instance, if someone is looking to buy a home, 700,000, I mean, that's a difference. That's an additional $1,000 or more in payment. Sometimes 1,500, depending on their credit score and things of that nature. But yeah, so it was a bit of a slowdown, so to speak.
Right.
Refi slowing down, and so did purchases. Now, present as of December, I think we were the 19th today or 20th. Rates have gone down about a point, and a little birdie has kind of told some of us that they're going to lower it about 2 points, the Fed. So if that happens, if rates hit that, what I think that get into that mid fives, 4.99. I think we could.
Which is realistic.
Which is realistic.
I mean, don't get me 3%.
Yeah, 3%. Well, here's the thing. For 15 years, you basically had rates 2, 3, 3.5%, and that is not normal. It's great for if you're buying a home, and I think a lot of people sat on the fence.
Right.
Actually, should have bought.
Right.
And they didn't. I still get phone calls. Where the rate? It's like, well, it's a little bit higher. But if they're trending downwards. I mean, if you look at the 10-year note, they're trending downwards every day, and so we're really hoping this first quarter, we're going to see some activity, and I think that's going to definitely be a catalyst for activity for purchases and for refis, because there's a lot of people sitting on equity,
right?
And they want to pay off some things. Because here's the thing: if you're sitting on, if you have a couple $100,000 in equity and you've got maybe $34,000 in credit card debt,
right,
and you're at 15, 20, 25, 30%. Well, you take a little bit of money out, pay that off, and it's going to, decrease your overall monthly output as far as bills are concerned. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, that this first quarter we're going to see definitely some stimulus.
Well, there's this thing. It begins with an E, and I'm not talking about an E that men get. I'm talking about an E that we all kind of going to hear about for the next 9-10 months of our lives, and then there's going to be another rebirthing of somebody. The election.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, come on.
That's going to be huge. I mean,
it's like what you do is like, hey, you know what? I want to get back.
Yeah. Lower the rates.
It's that simple.
It's really that simple.
And it was always planned that. People all we had to do was avoid the recession.
Yeah.
Avoid the R, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we just, once it kind of got comfortable with that, and then it was always a plan, but it was a little bit quieter plan this last 4 years. It wasn't like a hay, plan. Now the hay is getting ready to come out, and it's in the form of, hey, we're going to lower these rates and everybody's going to get so hyper focused on, you know what? I can buy a house now. I can do this now. Now what?
Absolutely. I mean, because just from a lending standpoint, I can't tell you how many people that I have that want to buy, but rates were so high, and prices in Arizona are sky high. I mean, if you're looking to buy, let's just say in Old Town Scottsdale, and I was just telling someone this today, you're looking over 2,000 square feet. If it's completely renovated, we're talking almost $1 million, if not $1 million.
Right.
So then you take that, you have to get. To reach the minimum, you have to put a large down payment to be a conventional loan. And so now, at 7%, you gotta
stroke it.
You have a real high payment.
Right.
I mean, a really high payment. That's not even including if you have that mortgage insurance, which your homeowner's insurance is going to be, what taxes are going to be,
right,
and HOA, depending if it's a condo or not, if it's in townhome. So. Yeah, I mean, it's an easy thing that whoever's running, whoever's winning, talk about lower rates, stimulate the economy a little bit. Now, a lot of economists will probably say, no, keep the rates where they are, but people are feeling it.
No,
people are feeling it.
They're still feeling it.
They're definitely feeling it.
Now, the gas has dropped a little bit.
Yes.
People are still. It's so interesting because it's like a wave. It's like you can make the announcement by the time people feel it. So they're going to announce it somewhere in that first quarter, so that it gets a full ride.
100%, of course, because the thing is that lowering rates 2%, 2.5%. Because remember, when the Fed lowers it, then the mortgage brokers will sometimes drop the rates even more. And so, if I think Once they hit the low 5s and go into 4.99, 4.75,
right.
people are gonna. I think that's really going to
it's going to stimulate
big time. And so I think even really the 5s. Now today I was looking, 5.99 was actually available, which it's not bad.
Well, I think that also it's that there's going to be a window of opportunity coming up the first 2 quarters, and I'm just going to say it out loud. There's going to be a window of opportunity. If people want to get in,
agreed.
They need to make that decision now. The only thing for me in buying a house that I've owned, let's see, 4 houses here, and every single one of them had this thing that this one thing that pinches me.
Okay.
It's the homeowners association.
Don't even get me started. You don't want to get me started.
I could make a whole line of jokes on just homeowner association and homeowner association meetings.
Yeah.
I think that everybody just give them some crack before they come to the meeting, because it's just like people just walk in and they lose themselves.
Well, someone said, a kind of a mentor of mine, and we were talking about this because I've had some dealings recently with my HOA, but a mentor of mine we were talking about this a couple of months ago, and they were saying, you have to remember, Jamal, that a homeowner association, 99% of the people that live there don't even want to deal with it. For instance, to get on the board, it's not like people are fighting to get on the board. They have to sometimes ask people, please, can you get on the board? So the people who are left to get on there, they're people who have nothing to do.
Right.
And so they come up with and a lot of them have a little bit of a God complex.
Right.
And so they write these CCNRs where,
What's a CCNR, just for the audience?
Well, it's basically,
they're not as intelligent as myself and Chris.
It's the bylaws. It's the bylaws and covenants of the association.
There you go.
So you have a group of people, 5 to 7 people, 10 people, whoever on the board, and they come up with the quote-unquote laws, and they're kind of binding laws, so they can do things like, well, you can't walk your dog after 5. No smiling if you're driving backwards or something. I read mines actually a couple of weeks ago, and there were a lot of interesting things in there that you wouldn't think would be in homeowners associations.
Right.
Things of the nature of, in your backyard, you can't do this.
Right.
You can't do that. And so any homeowner should absolutely read the CCNRs if you're going into an HOA.
That could be a business. Like, you could hire people to read your CCRs and put them on
like the Cliff
Kindle.
Notes version.
Maybe put them on Kindle so you can listen to them while you're driving.
I would tell anyone, if I was a realtor, and all jokes aside, I would say before you purchase the home, spend 30 minutes, read the CCNRs, just to make sure there's nothing in there that's going to be a little, because you might be planning, okay, hey, you know what, I got a boat, I want to kind of just park it in front of the house, or I want to park it in my driveway. Well, you can't do it.
Right.
And if you do it, you sign the paper. So if you park it in front of your house, you're going to get fined.
It is some of the most. So I did the stupidest thing when I moved here. I had a little bit of and so I built my first house before I got here. I'm from Canada, so I built a house from Canada here. Moved in that house, and it was great. I had my homeowners. It was normal people. We had the normal. I wasn't in the high-end estate community. And then I go play this game called golf, and I'm playing with this guy over and over again, and he goes, I built the spec house in your community right around the corner from you, but it's behind more gates. Well, what he didn't tell me is that means I'm going to have 2 homeowners associations now, right? Yeah. So not only do I have this one, the general one, I've got the estate one too. And I got to tell you, and they don't even like each other.
Yeah.
They looked at each other like, you know what? We're keeping our gates closed for the rest of the community from this time to this time because we have to keep it private. It's just, I'm like, you got to be kidding.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm going to be purchasing another home hopefully in the next, I'd say probably 12 months, depending on the rates. And the number one prerequisite for me is no HOA.
No HOA.
I won't buy another home in an HOA, unless it's just a smoking deal for rental or something like that. But yeah, no HOA, because I mean, they literally can just, they'll send you out letters and they will find you. And here's what a lot of people don't know. If you don't pay your HOA, they can actually foreclose on your home.
Good. HOA is, to me, like FBI, AARP.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like for some reason, your HOA can find you, AARP can find you, and I'm assuming the FBI can find you.
Well, right? They can do more than that. They can,
right, yeah, exactly. But I mean, it was just so interesting for me to, be in a situation you're happy about the house, right?
Yeah.
Then I moved into this place in downtown Phoenix, high-rise building, and everybody had. How do I say this? I can't say what I want to say, but let's just say everybody in the membership were a little bit flamboyant.
Yeah.
So I got to, that's a
flamboyant.
Flamboyant, creative. Yeah,
flamboyant.
When you have a creative homeowners association, flamboyant, the crap that just, literally. But I got to give them credit. They took time. They put the membership in. They never missed a meeting. And you know what? We had to have at least one party a year of flamboyant people that was approved in the homeowners association, whether you liked it or not. If you lived in this building.
Well, everything you said sounds downtown flamboyant and a party. That all sounds about right.
That's incredible. So anyway, I'm so glad we got that one out. As my computer keeps freezing up here. But so we got rates down, we got election coming, we've got we're in a great city. What if somebody's right now first time buyers, what should they be? What you meet people, you got people going, what should they be focused on?
Well, the number one thing is getting qualified. If you're a first time home buyer, make sure that you're actually qualified. Don't just start looking or get a realtor and just,
So that's pre-qualified?
Get pre-qualified. Talk to a licensed mortgage broker.
Right. So call you up.
Yeah.
How do I get in touch with you?
602-705-7788. Jamal Mateen, direct call.
Is that right? You have a website?
Not a website, but with Electron Financial. This way, just give me a call. Just call me.
Jamal Mateen.
Yeah.
You can find me. Got you.
I'm in the yellow pages. My business is all referral, just from 21 years. I've been doing this 21 years, so it's all referrals. I have about 4 realtors on my team that give me leads as well. But to answer your question, it's just simply first get pre-qualified because you want to know what you can qualify for. Because what happens, Rob, is a lot of people, they start seeing they have champagne dreams on a beer budget. And I say that only because this has happened over and over. So you want to know what you can qualify for, because if you're looking at that $500,000 house, 600, 800 million, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you can actually buy it. Because the realtor, if you get into the realtor's car or the realtor, you're following the realtor, you want to make sure you have a pre-qualification letter. So at that point, they know that, hey, I can put it. It's a serious deal. I can put in a contract today.
Right.
And to get pre-qualified, it's pretty simple. Fill out a small application, pull your credit, and from there, we know.
Figure out how much money you got in the bank.
It's probably, the process is 30 minutes if that. If that. Followed by sending over.
That's easier than giving blood.
Well, yeah, and giving blood you can pass out too, so which is a great thing. Giving blood's a great thing. I love it. I haven't done it, but I love it.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet either. So.
Yeah, I love the idea of it, but my track coaching in high school always said, don't give blood if you're an athlete because you could. I don't know. He basically was saying it could hurt your performance, but anyways, so get pre-qualified and just know what you can buy, and then from there, go out and see what's out there, and know what you want. Know what type of home you want to be in, what neighborhood you want to be in, and these are questions that your realtor can answer. I would say write down 5 to 10 questions for your realtor and your mortgage broker, saying, hey, here's my questions, here's what I like, and then write down 5 or 10 things that this is exactly what I want to do. This is what I'm looking for. This is my ideal. If I buy a home, this is how I want my life to look like, and make that happen. I always say that it's a puzzle. I talk to a client and I put the puzzle together for them that they want to see, and then at the end they see the picture.
Right. So there was a time, I remember this because I did it once when I had people like Chris in my life, and I could just go say, hey, dude, I need I need a couple $100,000 to buy this house, and no paperwork. But there's this is there a level, like a percentage where, I still got to go through pre-qualification, right? But it's like almost like it's guaranteed. Like if you get to 50% or 75%, what's the number?
Well, I would say this. It's kind of like the old adage, the only thing guaranteed are death and taxes. So, but there are other loans out there. There's other financing that I can do as well. There's hard money, which basically would mean, if you own a home, and I'll put just a regular number on it. Let's say you own a home that's $100,000,
right? And
you only ow $50,000,
right?
But you want to get some money out of it. Then yeah, you could do a hard money loan. The interest rate's going to be higher, but there's really no qualifying for it in terms of credit score. You just have to show that you have the ability to pay it back. But yeah, that would be the most, I would say, guaranteed type of loan.
Right.
Because there's not a lot of financial qualifying, but there is a little, but it's not like a conventional.
Right, gotcha.
Now, there's other loans, there's bank statement loans. Let's say you're a guy that, you run a business, I don't know, you sell flowers, and it's mainly a cash business.
Right.
And you just do deposits into your account at Chase, B of A, Wells Fargo's, whatever it is. Well, if you deposit, let's just say $10,000, $15,000 a month, $8,000 a month, $4,000, we can use 12 months or 24 months of those bank statements and use it as your income to get you qualified. And those loans are becoming more and more popular. Because there's a lot of people who don't have W-2 jobs. They have 1099 jobs. They work for themselves.
Right.
And they still want home ownership. Now,
tax return and that, you're good to go.
You're good to go. Now, will the rate be slightly higher? Yes, but you'll be able to get into the property. Because think about this. Let's say, yes, the rate's a little bit higher. You might be paying an extra $400 a month, $500, $600, whatever it is. But your home will be appreciating every year. So let's say in 2021 you bought the home and it was $400,000. Now 2023 it's $700,000. Well, that's worth an extra couple $100 a month on your payment to actually get into the property.
And you can always refinance.
You can always refinance it. There's so many different things that you can do once you get into the property. I'm all in on real estate, and I really am. Not just mortgages, but buying property, buying rentals. Even land, which there's not a lot of land loans, but building, construction. I just think real estate is a fantastic way to build wealth.
So is it just you? Are you independent, or do you have a team?
I'm independent. I pretty much own my own business. I have realtors that refer me business that I've had for, the realtors I've worked with for 14 to 18 years.
Right. So relationships are important.
Relationships are very important.
So what are you doing for Christmas for your realtors that are, it's gift giving season.
It's gift giving.
It's like, I've been referring you business for the last 14 years. So you get like a deck of cards, with the signature saying, hey, thank you. No, what do you blow it out? Do you take them to, some fancy, what do you do?
Well, we used to kind of do that. That can get a little dicey now.
Kind of bribing.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. Right?
Yeah, dinners. I usually try to meet my realtors for lunch every few months, but to be quite honest, my realtors aren't relationship. The relationship is get the loan closed, get it closed, and get it closed fast.
So they're really relying on you.
Well, they're relying on me. I mean, I get the business.
So they should be buying you gifts. Maybe a new car.
That would be great, but they can, here's the thing, and I'm very appreciative because they can give the business to anyone and they give it to me, which I really appreciate and respect.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they want you to close the deal. It's great if you can give, hey, gift certificate, hey, this and that, but can you get it closed? And can you communicate with them during the process?
Right.
Because they have their clients, I'm their client, I have the client of the borrower, so it's from A to Z. A loan is about getting from A to Z, and I always tell, I will take you on that trip from A to Z.
That is awesome. That's good stuff. So relationships are important. So where do you, you're buying, you're selling, you're this. Where do you think this market goes from here? Are prices going to drop, or are they going to? What do you think's going to happen?
Great question. Well, technically, prices have dropped already from last year about 10 to 11%, depending on the area. Yeah, depending on the 10 to 11, some areas 8 to 7. So prices, we have seen a little bit of a price drop. Now, are they going to drop further? I think if the rates drop, I think that's going to slow the price drop because people are going to start buying again. But you just Arizona. If I was a betting man, I would bet on Arizona because just so many people are moving here, and so many people are moving here that is going to drive prices up. Even if they dip, it's going to
always going to go back.
It's going to go back. I mean, I always tell people this: in 2005. Let's say you bought a house that was $400,000. Now in 2008, that might have dropped to 320, 350, 310. But that house now is probably 900. So it always comes back.
Right.
There's nowhere in the United States where in any type of metropolitan or suburban area where a house is worth less today than it was 20 years ago.
That's incredible.
And from there, I mean, that's all you need to really say. So again, I'm a little biased because real estate is kind of something that I've done since for the last 21 years, and I've done pretty much all facets of it.
Right.
And but I believe in it, and if you look at the metrics, it's I think it's all valid.
Speaking of metrics, Jamal, it's like you've been here for 21 years, and you talked about real estate relationships and how solid it is. Speaking of relationships, are you married?
Not married.
Have you ever been married?
I have been married. I was married for 5 years.
God, we are a lot alike. I was married for 5 years.
I was married for 5 years, together for about 9. Been single for about 13 years. And that's about it.
So the metrics here are not taking you down that path of,
Well, here's the thing.
You're in sunny Scottsdale.
I'm in sunny Scottsdale, but I don't have children. At my age, do I really want to get into having a kid at 52? Can I physically, biologically?
You actually said your age out loud. That's the first time. He looks like he's 22, folks.
I'm going to take it as a compliment. Tip of the hat to you, sir. Tip of the hat to you. So, I'm just dating.
No, I hear you there.
Yeah. So
it's definitely one of those things that you can navigate if you want to.
Yeah.
You don't navigate it.
If I think in my personal opinion, if I said, hey, I want to have a kid, then I definitely would want to have a kid in wedlock. I think that's the best way to go. But at this point,
you're happy with yourself.
I'm ecstatic.
You wake up every morning and you're like, yes, it's great to be me.
If you can wake up, you feel good, you're healthy,
right.
Your family loves you,
right.
Your mother, father, your brothers and sisters, your friends.
Right.
That's a lot to be happy for.
You have a dog?
No dog.
See?
No dog.
I like this guy.
Yeah, I
don't even need that.
Yeah.
No fish. You got
no
turtle.
The thing is that
cigar.
I do like animals, but I do travel. What am I going to do? I mean,
you're not going to get one of those fancy little carts to take it with you?
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. No, all the dog lovers out there listening, please don't get upset.
You just eliminated 25% of it.
It's probably 75. Probably 75. Yeah. But I love animals though. I do actually like dogs. German Shepherd's probably my favorite dog. Hard to have here in Arizona, but if I had a dog, I'd probably get a German Shepherd.
I think about it, and then I forget about it.
Well, yeah. I try to look at everything logistically, and if I'm traveling at least every couple of months, if I, in the summer something I'm gone a month.
Right.
What am I going to do?
Right. Yeah, no, I hear you. Well, I got to tell you, we have a lot more in common. I always knew we did, and we've had a talk.
Yeah.
I got to know some members of your family a lot more than I know you.
Yeah.
At least by acquaintance, anyway. But I've always like, this guy's one of the most interesting guys because you're so quiet. You just do your thing. You walk your own walk, talk your own time, which is great.
Well, I appreciate that. You're a guy that I've seen for years and years, and you kind of you're always just laying back, and you're very, articulate. You're very business savvy, and
I do what I do, and
Yeah.
I just try not to make a big splash.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
Yeah.
it. You know, it's just, and that's why this place works for me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
And the people that are in my life, I choose them to be in my life.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And if I didn't choose you, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just, it is what it is.
What part of Canada are you from?
I moved here from Toronto.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I know the whole country.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
intimately, even better than I ran 2 Canadian companies. So
Okay.
one was in Toronto, and the other one's in Montreal.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So,
I hear so many good things about Toronto.
Have you been there?
I've been to Vancouver. Loved it. I'm going again this summer.
Vancouver's great.
Yeah.
But Toronto, Montreal, all that's even better than.
Yeah, Montreal. That's the one that everyone says is really good.
Yeah, it's life changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely life
Yeah.
changing.
It's on my list. I've been in a lot of countries. That I have not been to those 2 cities though.
So in closing, is there anything you want to leave the Craft Podcast audience with?
Well, all I would say is I think first quarter 2024, second quarter 2024, when rates drop, because they are going to drop even further, I think it's going to be a time for some opportunity if you're looking to purchase. I think it's going to be a time for some opportunity if you're looking to refi or even just get in the real estate market as a renter.
Right.
So just look out for that. There's great realtors out there. There's great mortgage brokers out there. Do your research. You can always get in contact with me. Of course, Jamal Mateen, 602-705-7788 with Electron Financial. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to just answer questions for you. Let's be positive.
No, I appreciate that. Chris, did I miss anything?
Nope, you're good to go.
I think I'm good to go. Well, this has been a great Craft Podcast here at Hotel Valley Ho, located in Scottsdale, Arizona. We're here on Wednesdays in Zuzu Lounge live. My voice is starting to crack, so I'm going to sign off right now, and we will see you again next week. Thank you, Jamal, for being here.
Thank you so much.